Alright, we are back with more comparison videos for you guys. Obviously we got pumpkins today. We're going to hit them with 22 long rifle, 380, 9mm, 40 Smith & Wesson, 45 ACP. We'll be using hollow point ammunition. The 22 I'm using is a Taurus TX22 with a 4.1 inch barrel. 380 I'm using is a Ruger LCP Max with a 2.75-ish barrel, roughly. 9mm Glock 17 with a 4.48 inch barrel. 40 Smith & Wesson is going to be your Glock 35 with a 5.3 inch barrel, and 45 Ruger SR 1911 with a 5 inch barrel. So I'm going to be cutting a little hole in these pumpkins and filling them with water. A lot of people don't know, pretty much with any caliber, unless you get like the perfect pumpkin, they mostly just punch right through. They leave a hole in this middle, front and back, and that's it. 223, 5.56. I mean, big rifles, 270, 30-06, they just punch a hole right through them. They don't really pop, and that's what everyone wants to see, right? And it's honestly quite boring just to put holes in pumpkins, no matter what caliber you use. If you get an extra juicy one and you have a big enough caliber, it might kind of blow up, but for the most part, pretty much anything I've ever shot them with, they just shoot right through and keep on going. So I'm going to have to cut a little notch in each one of them. Got a bunch of water to fill them up. And you might be wondering why I have all these too. Well, we're doing pistols for this video, but I'm also going to be doing a shotgun version and a centerfire rifle version. So since it's the season right now, I'm going to have all the pumpkin ones coming up in a row, and then I'll be getting back to the cabbage and soda pop and bricks in shotgun and centerfire rifle that I haven't got to do yet because we did all those with the pistols. But for now, we're going to get all these pumpkins out of the way because it's the season and everybody wants to see pumpkins blown up, right? So I'm going a little different on the ammo selection today, at least for a good bit of these, due to some of the comments I've been getting, and also due to the fact that these are going to be filled with water. Let me explain that to you real quick. So in 22, I usually use like the Stinger or the Aguila Super Maximum Hollow Point. You know, they're hyper velocity, real light, real fast. But with that being filled full of water and being much, well, kind of large thing to shoot at there, I don't think those lightweight ones that fragment at close range on very liquidy targets like that, it's not going to be much of an exit hole, and therefore probably not much of an explosion. I mean, I'm not really expecting that much of explosion from 22 anyways, but that's why I'm going with these velocitors. These will mushroom really perfectly and stay together through water in a pumpkin, so that'll give us good punch out the backside as well. I'm going to skip 380 for now. I'll get back to that. So I've been, again, part of this is what I have available to me, guys. I don't live in a freaking armory. I don't have ammo sponsorships, so I'm at the same mercy as you as ammo availability and budgeting for it and everything like that. So a lot of the comments I've been getting was I'm using 180 grain gold dot in the 40 Smith & Wesson, and then I was using 185 grain gold dot in the 45, and people were saying that's not fair, which I kind of agree, because 180 grain is on the heavy end for a 40, because 165 is more in the mid-range there, whereas 185 for 45, that's on the light end. So it's giving the 45 an advantage in the fact that it's allowing the 45 to have a fast load, whereas the 40 is using a heavy load. So the only way I can combat that with what I have, I'm going to use these 230 grain, but they're plus P. I wish I had standard pressure in 230s, but I don't. And this is also the only option available of what I have to where we can actually be faster with the 40 Smith & Wesson, a faster muzzle velocity than with the 45, because everything else I had, it puts the 45 ahead as in velocity over the 40, because again, this is a heavy load for the 40, so that's not really fair. So that's why I'm going with what I'm going. So this is 950 feet per second advertised. These are 985 feet per second advertised, which is actually a little bit hotter than some loads for the 180 grain, because most of them are around 950, 960. So this is a little hotter, so that'll help make up for that difference. But also you got 3/4, or not 3/4, but 3/10 of an inch longer barrel on the G35 than you do this 1911 here. So it's very minimal, but that'll help a little too, between 40 and 45 there, and make it a more fair test for the 40. So since we're using heavy on the 40 and heavy on the 45, I'm going to go heavy on 9mm as well. And this is a change too. I usually use my El Cheapo Taurus G2 with a 3-inch barrel or such. So I brought the G17 out today. It has a 4.5-inch barrel, 4.48 if you want to be exact. And we're going to run these. 147 grain. I've done gel tests on these, and they actually perform really well, so they'll have no problem fully expanding in a water-filled pumpkin. So we're going to get maximum expansion from the 9, 40, and 45, no problem. Now the 380, like I said, I didn't have a choice but to go plus P with the 45 and try in interest of trying to make it fair between 40 and 45. But I'm going plus P on 380 intentionally, because look how small that is. Okay, so this is full size, full size, full size. That's practically a full size, and then you got a micro here. So I'm going to use the plus P in this. It gives it would normally give a little advantage if the barrel was longer like these, but since this is such a short barrel, that this being a plus P loading will help make up for the fact that that's such a short barrel. And I know some of you guys are going to say there's no such thing as a plus P 380, and I understand that with Sammy and whatnot, but they're marketing it as plus P because it's a hotter 380 load. So these, by the way, 90 grain Hornady XTP bullet, 1200 feet per second advertised. So I also get complaints that I talk way too much, and so I apologize for that. Tried to get through that as fast as I could, but there's a lot of people that want to know that information, so that was for you guys. With that said, let's get set up and start shooting these things. And real quick, I always forget this part because I'm trying to hurry up and shut up. And there's your bullet cartridge. If this would focus, I always have that problem too. There's your velocitor. There is your Underwood there, XTP plus P. That one's a little weathered from being in my pocket for 6 months. There's your 9mm, 40 Smith & Wesson, and there's the 45. All right, now let's shoot some pumpkins. All right, got the first one set up here. We're gonna go in order of caliber size. So we'll go 22, 380, 9mm, 40, and then 45. And I just wanted to give you guys a little look here at what I'm doing. So I'm just cutting a little hole here in the top, so they'll all be cut like this. Pop this out, fill her up with water, put it back in, and then we'll hit it. Forgot to turn on the GoPro for this one, guys.
22 long rifle.
Boy, that didn't do anything, even with it filled full of water. I got about 3.5 plastic water bottles in there. It was filled, well, it popped that out. Filled clear to the top, but well, that didn't do much.
380.
Man, I hope these bigger ones do more than that. Pretty uneventful with pistols so far. Of course, that is still the 380, but man, when that round 380 hit watermelon in the watermelon test I did, it blew it up. So yeah, even with water in these, they're still pretty resilient.
9mm.
I can't wait to hit these with shotguns and rifles, because that's going to make the difference. We'll see what 40 and 45 does, though. Should do more.
.40 Smith & Wesson. That's what I'm talking about.
Also, I forgot to mention before pulling the trigger, that was a bigger pumpkin too. I had to put about 50% more water in that one. But I mean, I could tell when I picked it up, it was bigger. So finally, well, there ain't much to show there.
Alright, I had to take my hoodie off, getting a little hot out here running back and forth. So now we have the 45 ACP.
Okay. Pretty centralized hit, and it just kind of blew out the bottom on that one. Now that said, guys, you know, typically on paper 40 should be the winner because generally it puts out more energy than a 45 does. A lot of people get confused about that. They assume bigger number means more power, and it doesn't. That said, the ammo selection in this video puts the 45 ahead in energy, actually by quite a bit, over the 40 Smith & Wesson. So why did the 40 Smith & Wesson pumpkin explode and the 45 did not when it was more powerful with this load? Well, that's mostly going to be due to bullet selection, which is why I wanted to stick with all gold dots for 9mm, 40 and 45. But people were complaining about that. So as you can see from the results here, actually what's more not fair is switching bullet type because, you know, different types of bullets perform vastly different regardless of caliber. And also, just for the record, before anyone tries to dispute it, if you freeze frame at the right part in the video, the 40 Smith & Wesson actually hit pretty much the exact same spot as the 45 did. So there's our results. Now again, it depends on the medium and whatnot, and you know, if you're going for penetration on an animal or something like that. But regardless, here's what we got on the pumpkins today. So let's check these out again real quick. There's your entry. Again, these are going to be in order: 22, 389, 40, 45, 22 entry, 380 entry, 9mm entry. The 40 blew up. There's your 45 entry. And then on the exits, 22, 380, 9, 40, 45. And in continuation of the lesson that we just had, I want to point out that if you pick the right 9mm load, even a standard pressure one, it'll do as much damage as you see here with the plus P 45 ACP. So bullet selection is very important, which is why I do gel tests on the channel. So if you're new to the channel and you haven't seen the previous videos, we've done the same thing with a gallon of water so far, 2 liters of soda, cabbages, cinder blocks, concrete blocks, and also watermelons. So if you are new and you've missed those, go ahead and give a scroll through the channel. I could post links, but that's a whole bunch of links to post, so just go check out the channel and make sure you catch up on those if you're new. As I said, we'll have centerfire rifle and shotguns coming up next. Shotgun, I'm doing 410, 20 and 12 gauge. I'm going to do buckshot and slugs. Centerfire rifle, we have that coming up, of course. So like I said, I did all those previous ones. We're going to do the same previous ones with shotgun and rifle, but I just wanted to go ahead and do all these pumpkins since it's the season right now. And then of course, after this, we're going to be doing a bunch more comparisons like this. I'll find other fun things to shoot. I got a lot more planned, so stay tuned, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications if you want to catch all those coming up as well. Not a whole lot of products displayed in this video, but I always post links to the products I use in these gun videos, like my shooting bag there, the targets, target stand, steel targets, etc. So if you guys want to get yourself anything you see me use in the videos, links in the description. But I want to thank you guys for stopping by. I hope you liked the video. If you did, be sure to leave a like. If you know someone else who would like to see pumpkins blown up, be sure to share the video. And I hope to catch you guys on the upcoming shotgun and centerfire rifle version. Until then, catch you later.